This is the Scale Up Show, bringing you the latest on income, marketing, and entrepreneurship.
4-hour work week. That's the topic for this podcast. And I started with didn't read the book. I listened to the book over a year ago. And it was always one of my top goals is to have a laptop life, to work from everywhere. And I changed my intents from a laptop life to an iPad life because an iPad is smaller. And next goal is to an iPhone life. And I only need an iPhone. So, and then I started reading the 4-hour work week. And but I heard a lot of rumors about it and was thinking, okay, maybe it's a little bit cheesy title, 4 hours work week, impossible. So I think, okay, just start with it. I bought it on iTunes or whatever, and I just started listening to it in my car, and it was better than expected. And it was exactly what I'm looking for. I want to work less and make more money, but work less. It's the most important thing. And last 3 months ago in November, my daughter born, and I had one goal. I want to be more home, and I gave myself 6 weeks to get everything done to be most free of my agency. So that's was for me a game changer. Just because I was thinking, okay, what I need to eliminate from my work every day, every minute of my life. I was like, okay, maybe someone else can do this better than me. And that was my main goal, and that's why I started to scale up my team, my virtual team. Yeah. And that was, it's still to today a game changer for me because I have so much more free time now to do other things and have a well-established agency running every day worldwide. And maybe I do a few hours a week it needs my attention, and that's great.
I think it embodies like what a lot of people want to do when it comes to entrepreneurship. I think if you are interested in either starting an agency, whether that be offering ad services, creative services, Google, email, whatever the case may be, there's a big chance you got into this industry because you want a laptop lifestyle. Ultimately, I think it's the biggest attraction point in today's day and age of people to start a business. They either read the book from Tim Ferriss or they hear it from someone else, and what they most likely envision is quite often laying on the beach in Bali with a pina colada running a business. Because that's kind of like the feeling people always get if you start around a 4-hour work week. But it is more like what Corné just described, is you need to read the book, how it applies to your life. Of course, how Tim puts it out there in the world is that, hey, travel in the world, etc., which you can do. I'm not saying that's not possible, but again, it's like, how do you apply 4-hour work week to your system? Like, how do you want to put this together in your life?
I think it all stems down to freedom, right? Freedom to decide how you...
I mean, there's time freedom and money freedom. It's ultimately the two conjugations that you want to get together.
Yes, and I think time freedom is even more important than money. Okay, you need money in this world, of course. But I mean, time, for example, if you have young children, and Joshua, you're also getting a baby in a year or something.
August.
In August already. So, and then you want more time, and especially the first 4 years are super nice before they go to school and everything. You want to be there, and if you are working all day, you can never get that time back. I heard from my own dad; he was also always working, and he missed that time from my childhood. So I was thinking, okay, and I don't want that for myself, so I do everything, and I make the decision. Okay, maybe a little bit less money in, but much more time, and the fun part is I make more money now with less work because the processes are much better.
And that's the thing, It's like how it all comes together. It's like I was listening to a podcast last week with Michael Rubin, and he said the same thing. He said, like, if I right now would have gotten a deal, would I give up all the money I have, but I would get 20 years back of my life? He would take it straight away. And I think this is quite often, if you ask people who are like around, that 60, 70-year-old mark who kind of have made it, and you ask them this question, what they all say is like, I would give up everything I have to get time back. Because at a certain point, time is just so much more valuable than money.
100%.
Like if you're laying on your deathbed, you cannot take the money with you. Because then time becomes this ultimate factor point. So the earlier you realize that how valuable your time is, and I always kind of say is like, it's not again cliche to say, but like the real love you can give to someone is your time. Because that's the most valuable thing someone can offer someone else.
Yeah, man, 100%. It's Alex Hormozy again, right? That says when he was in his 20s, he wants to be a millionaire. And now he's a multi-millionaire. Now he wants to be 20 again.
And of course, it's a double-edged sword because it's at a certain point, it's like it's hard to, if you're in your 20s and you do not have a whole lot of funds to say, oh yeah, 4-hour work week because time is so important.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's kind of like the struggle that people make against each other. Because of course you need to hustle, you need to work hard.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of time. You know, that's why people always say if you want to build a big business, you need to give up time. And it's also different headaches you get, you know, because I know when we were at 6 figures, I was dealing with completely different points than when now we're at 7 figures. It's a completely different game chain with things that are going in my mind from a time perspective as well.
Yes, but it depends, of course, on the side of sort of business you have. If it's possible, what Tim Ferriss says in the book, he eliminated everything. He also forwarded his phone calls. So one of the things I did already before, but he also, in the last podcast we talked about, I was killing all my phone calls. He was also talking in his book about that. I already did that before because it was so annoying. I was desperate looking for a solution.
Yeah.
But it's so important to see what are you doing. And can someone else maybe do it better? And mostly someone else can do it much better because they are more focused on that dedicated task. And especially for me, I have now 7 people around the world working for me all day, not all day, but the whole week.
Yeah.
And that's, yes, that gives me so much more time, but in the end also much more quality. And I have more time to work on my business and not in my business.
I think that's a very fair point. Although I definitely think the question you need to ask yourself is, it works great for the 3 of us, but I think the only reason why it works for us and we're able to apply it is because we've been on the other side.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend any entrepreneur, you first need to go all in on yourself. You need to run the business as a one-man shop. Because if you have your hands in every part of the business, you know how it runs, and you know if you find someone to delegate it to, how you can control it.
Yeah.
Because if you do that from the beginning and you do not know how certain areas of your business run, it's like, I just do not see how you scale this forward.
Yeah, that's super important what you say, Aaron, because I had my own store, with physical stores, and with my e-com business. I did everything. I was working on Saturday in the store, on in the night. I was working in a warehouse and on the customer service department. I also did everything. And then you know the processes, and then that's also the moment where you can optimize. I see still customers from my agency struggling with their business because they want to be on Ibiza or on Bali and have no time to really manage their business, and they are stressed out because my customer service is not working and my fulfillment is not working, but because they don't understand the process. They never did it by themselves.
Yeah.
You also see the biggest CEOs from, not a real example maybe, but for example, maybe the CEO of Starbucks, for example, and I'm not sure.
Well, I think the best example to kind of explain this is like how with what Jeff Bezos did at Amazon. At a certain point, he banned PowerPoints. And he told everyone, we have a one-pager, everyone brings the information, and he was present in every single department, sitting around a table discussing this. And by doing so, he has his finger on
Elon Musk
everything.
is also doing it. He's sleeping at the factory, and I'm 100% sure that he also put things together for his Tesla cars just to see how the process is working. And as an entrepreneur, you can make a difference only if you really know the process. If you're in your office watching through your groundworks, whatever. Yes, that's not working all the time. You need to be there at where your customer is. I also tell all my customers from my agency, watch the emails and the phone calls your customer sending to your e-com business, and do your customer service 1 week at yourself, so you see you know where the pain point is in your business.
Yeah, I'm a big favorite, just like the 90-10 rule. It's kind of like, I would never 100% trust something of my business to someone else, but I would trust and give it to them 90%. So if 10% of the time I check on them, I make sure I have my hands in there and it's running well, that gives me the satisfaction. And
that's great to say, but that's how I run my business. I have a Monday, I have a 30-minute meeting, exactly 30 minutes with the complete team. I discuss all the things we need to do that week. And at the end of the week, before we launch our campaigns, I check every campaign myself. But this is really a structured process. So I need to only check quality. I check on 18 points, I check all my campaigns. And then I'm done. But I can do that in maybe 1 or 2 hours. A little bit depends how busy that week is and how fast I am at the moment, if I can do my deep work or not. But that's the whole thing I do. But and then I'm 100% sure that I'm still in control. So if someone make a mistake it's not the customer who get hurt, because I have plenty of time to solve myself, to fix it myself, or my team can fix it before we send it out. So some customers were thinking, oh, now your team is doing all the work and you are nowhere. That's not true. Also on holidays, 1 or 2 hours a week, I have always 1 or 2 hours a week. Also on holiday, no problem for me.
Yeah.
And then I know, okay, everything goes really well. It was a time I was. That's another story, but I was really busy with my ecom business. It was so hard. I was thinking, okay, I go 3 weeks to Indonesia, traveling there, and I will see how the business will come back when I'm back. That will cost me 800,000 euros when I come back.
Crazy.
They made so many mistakes. That was the most expensive holiday of my life.
I was about to say, man, expensive trip to Indonesia.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I never do that again, because I'm a little bit a control freak, but I wanted not in every detail, but in the end result, I wanted to have a check so I can be 100% sure if I call from a customer that I know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of marketers, obviously, because that's sort of the industry we're in, they try and skip over, right? Like understanding all the processes and understanding how the business works. And that's probably a very crucial mistake that I made as well in the past, was that I tried to outsource everything too quickly. Obviously very much influenced by the 4-hour work week, by Tim Ferriss, where he was using freelancer websites to outsource the work to. I followed the same path. And then because I wasn't an expert at what I was trying to outsource, or at least I didn't have a basic understanding of what I was trying to outsource, I would basically just outsource it to the first person that applied to the job, and not fully so obviously it was Facebook ads, and then I'd get a portfolio. They'd send a portfolio of like page likes, engagement, and because I had no idea what was good and what wasn't good, I was like, okay, well that looks impressive, that seems impressive, let's just take this guy on. And all I was focused on was how cheap can I outsource it for, and how big of a profit margin can I generate with this client.
That's really good what you say, Joshua. That was also my first mistake.
Yeah.
Too cheap. And sometimes now my clients ask me, okay, how do you do that with the outsourced people? They're really cheap. No, they are super expensive.
Yeah.
I pay them always. I learned that I pay them more than average, much more than average.
Yeah.
And I pay them in advance. So I pay them before they do the job. At first I did it after the job, but I now have the feeling, okay, I trust you on the Philippines, I trust you in India, or whatever are you. I wire the money, and the biggest fail what can happen is that I lose my first payment. That's the biggest. But what they get back for, they get so much trust for the women or guide on the other side that they are thinking, okay, I need to finish this job because they already paid me, so I need to do my super best. And that works really well. First I did otherwise around, and I got really bad results. Low quality people, the work was not finished on time, and now I pay them in advance and it works perfect.
Obviously, stuff like this just comes with experience, but it's like I said, you need to make sure that you don't skip over this step. Having the basic understanding of what goes on in your business, having a basic understanding of the service delivery, and only then, when you can find someone better, or if you want to free up your time, only then do you actually find someone to do it on your behalf.
It's like you need to reach the kind of the top of the mountain before you can do a step lower.
Yeah,
and it's the same with everything in life.
Yeah,
it's the same reason why, if I just look like people I know who, for example, made an insane amount of money with Bitcoin, and it was the first time them touching money.
Yeah.
Every time I speak with them now, they're all depressed.
Yeah.
Because they never went through the hurdles. They never had the struggles.
They don't appreciate it.
They never had the pain to build something legit. Like if you go from a zero to multi-million within like a span of a couple of months, you've basically missed out on the essential parts to get where you are.
Yeah.
It kind of comes back to previous podcasts we've done when it comes to mindset. Like you need to go through these hurdles.
Yeah.
You need to fall down to the lowest point you can to really recognize like, who am I? Because if you do not know who you are, if you do not know what you're doing from the business, a 4-hour work week will just not work. Because there's always one thing that will prevail, and I think we can all go on Instagram right now and we can point them out, but 99% of the people running business nowadays, it's just people with too much ego.
Yeah,
like the
100%.
business is an extension for them to show, look what I have done. Like you can go to so many Instagram profiles where it says, look at me, I'm the entrepreneur. Look me in the Lambo, like this and this. But it's kind of like,
I see it a bit as the fake internet entrepreneur, and now with the recession, whatever is coming to it, the storm is coming, and they will disappear. And I'm quite happy with that because we get more real entrepreneurs back. They really do the work.
Yeah.
And what you're just saying is that there are some people just read the 4-hour work week, implement the process. Maybe it works well in the first few years for them because it was easy economy, and they never did something themselves, and they will get backfired at any moment. Yeah.
And I think that's just like to come up basically what both of you said is like to make a 4-hour work week work for you. If you can attach the business from yourself, your ego, then you can make a decision that's best for the business, not yourself. That's how you can start delegating tasks. Because if you're still at the top and you're making ego-driven decisions, you're just going to go on a ramp that's only going to take you downhill to a point where either you need to make a drastic change or it's already too late. And it's like what we had kind of, I think, in the marketer world. I think that's why iOS 14 was such a nice thing, in my opinion, because it kind of got all the fake people out of our market.
It separated the men from the boys.
Exactly. And there's always going to be offense because that's just how the world worked. It's like if you're lying or if you're pretending, it's always going to come out. And I'm not saying it's like, I would always say to people, it's like pretend until you're there. Because obviously first impressions count. But to a certain degree, it's like there are so many companies out there, so many brands who have this insane spend roll just to keep up their persona, but it's just hurting the business so much. And I can see it with like a lot of clients we work with as well. If you just speak with them and you see what they're doing, is so many of like, it's to a certain point almost wasted potential.
Well, like you guys said at the start, right? Like if you want that laptop lifestyle, quote unquote, you need to almost earn it to a certain extent. Like you need to have the foundations there,
Facts.
Financially, mentally, and also in your business. Like if you're not making, let's say 10K a month, you have no right being on that beach, right? Like you have no right being there sipping the pina colada. You need to do the reps. You need to put in the work before you get to that point. And like you said, you need to get to the top of the mountain first before you can, take a step back.
It's I think that's like probably the best summary. I think the biggest learning lesson I got from the 4-hour work week. And then again, it's like, I urge everyone to read the book, but it's not like, hey, you should do it. It's like, you need to be in a position in your life where that makes sense. And I always have this conversation with Corné. He always tells me, Aaron, the day you're going to get kids, you're going to call me and you say, okay, now I understand what you're meaning. And I think Josh will probably get this around August, because it's like there will be certain moments in your life where you're just forced to make this decision, and then somewhere in your brain it will click and you can make it. And I think it's like before that, I think that's kind of also the benefit you have if you do not have children or you don't have a relationship. There's no one you need to depend on. Like all you got is yourself. So you need to utilize that time to really figure yourself out. Because like, what is the worst that can happen? Like,
yes, and you need to have a real purpose to why you need the 4-hour work week.
True.
Because just sitting on the beach or watching Netflix, it's useless, of course. You need to have a real purpose. If you have kids, for life-changing moments, or for example, if your family member got sick, you need to take care of them, for example, and you want to have much more time, then it's really useful to have this process running.
But it's like, again, it all comes down to, it sounds cliche to keep saying, but it comes down to your mindset. Because to get to that point, you need to be able to come out there. Because quite often if you ask someone, it's like, who are you? The first thing they're going to say, I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm a brother. But that's not what you are. It's an attachment.
True.
Like,
good point.
Ideally what you want to say, if you ask someone, who am I? Say, hey, I'm a caring, loving, ambitious person. Because only by you being able to say that, you can delegate these tasks and you can get to the point. And again, it's like what Corné says, if your goal for a 4-hour work week is so that you can go on Instagram, show that you're on the beach every day, like you're starting completely wrong from the get-go.
Again, exactly.
If your goal is to get the Lambo, by all means go for it. If that's what you aspire and that's possible, that's fine. But if that is the only thing that is going to drive you and wake up every morning, you're going to fall very, very hard. Because they're all things, and it's like, I don't want to get in too much in materialistic things, but you need to have a greater purpose.
100%. I think at its core, the 4-hour work week, what it's trying to portray is that you only focus on what pushes the needle, and then you basically find ways to either automate, outsource, or delegate everything else that is not a top priority.
I think that's the perfect example of, I think, the perfect conclusion, I think, to the 4-hour work week.
And you mentioned, Joshua, that you've not right to if you are not there to be on the beach. Maybe that's a good subject for our next podcast, and maybe we can more dive in the risks you need to make as an entrepreneur to get there.
And I'd say tune in next week and we'll find out.